Hi everybody and welcome. Today's question comes from Rachel and Kaz, who ask, should two people who are at different levels of consciousness, should they stay together or should they actually split up and find more symbiotic or resonant pairs? It's a good question, and a lot of people are in this situation where one person is growing fast or just going into different directions. And there is no right answer to this. We've got to be aware of the fact that our culture can condition us, or the things that, or our family can condition us, or our past experiences can really condition us. There could be a thought, for example, that says it's better to be forgiving and to be loyal, and that no matter what internal problems you may be feeling, always show up, be there for your partner, no matter where you are, or it's forever, and no matter in sickness and in health, and we make these conditioned promises so that it entraps us in making a decision that would serve not just us but maybe our partner as well. So I'm not saying, by the way, that we should split every single time it doesn't feel right or we're at different levels, because, by the way, we're very rarely always at the same level. We're always going to be in different places. So the decision has to come from a different place than our conditioning, what we think is right. It has to come from a knowing, from a gut sense of this feels absolutely true, this is so important, that this feels right, and it feels juicy, and it feels alive, and it feels connected to your highest, wisest self. Your conditioning, by the way, could be the reverse. It could be, in fact, your conditioning says, I need to leave. When something isn't feeling right, I should always make the decision to remove myself from the environment. When in fact that could actually be your saboteur or your stuff talking. You could just be scared of commitment, and as soon as you start feeling a little bit of your own pain body, boom, you bolt, you run away. And that could be all your conditioning. So this is really a matter of having and learning the discernment, that is the ability to tell the difference between when should you stay and when should you go. That's going to be a heart-centered question and an exploration for you. But here's a couple of points. When you choose to enter a relationship, you are at some level, not at every level, but choosing at some level to match the consciousness of the person you're going to be with. So they're either going to come to you or you're going to come to them. So just be aware of that. Secondly, it's almost impossible for your relationship to work if your partner thinks that somehow the source of their happiness comes from you, which would also mean that they're somehow a victim to the relationship, which means they have the idea or the fantasy that if they can find the right one, that the relationship will require no further work for it to be successful. So if your partner, or even you, are thinking that somehow there is a one out there for you specifically, and that once you've found this person, relationship should be effortless and easy without work, your relationship will fail. And if one of you is thinking that, and the other is aware, of course, that in fact it is a spiritual practice to come into our heart by ourselves and with each other. If one of you is aware of the true reason for a relationship and the other one's still living in the fantasy world of somehow my mummy is going to take care of me or my daddy is going to take care of me, you can't possibly make those two things match. It's like putting a square or a round peg in a square hole. It's just not going to fit. So that's very, very important. And in my life, where I am right now, it's very important that I choose to be with somebody who's willing to work on themselves, who can share that same vision and purpose. I think it's okay that two people are at different places in their life, because we're never always going to be at the same place throughout the years, right? We're always going to kind of move. So that I don't think we can control. However, do we still hold the purpose of our loving in the same place? Do we have the same intention about it? And I think that, to me, is the vital key. Is, do we both agree on what our purpose of being together is? And as long as we hold that as true, and as long as I'm feeling like I'm growing and I'm expanding and I'm becoming more of who I am, and I feel just a sense of rightness about us being together, I will continue and pursue that. But here's the caveat. I don't suddenly leave just because I suddenly have a feeling of, oh my God, something isn't working, or I'm having a hard day with my partner. Because I realize that part of the process of our practice is disconnection, disharmony, lack of communication, a resistance, a repulsion, a depolarization. There are going to be moments when we're going to fight or have arguments or disagreements. So I'm not looking for a perfect harmony in my body as a way to tell me whether the relationship is right, I determine it on different factors, like a sense of growth, like a sense of expansion, like a sense of, am I becoming more of who I am because of this relationship? And does my loving of my partner bring me joy, and am I sharing my deepest gifts to the world, and am I being received? There's so many different areas to this. So anyway, that was just a little bit on this. I hope that it made sense. Again, if you enjoyed it, please leave a comment, and please share it with your friends, share it on Twitter and Facebook and all of that. And please know that these questions, and especially this question of discernment and heart intelligence, is a perfect skill to learn. It's something we teach a lot in this work at a whole, that the importance of being able to find out when is it our truth, when is it our conditioning, when is it our heart speaking, and when is it our stuff, our sabotage, because that's so important. Because when we get to grips with that, we really do have the greatest guidance tool we can possibly have. And that's something that we teach in the Accelerated Awakening courses and in the Relationships and Sexuality retreats. It's all about how do we come into our hearts to make better decisions so that we can actually lead our relationships and our lives from a heart-centered place rather from a mental conditioned place. So with that, I hope you enjoy it and you get value from it. Please leave a comment. I will speak to you tomorrow. Take care.